Let's combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classes. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maat.
A BB for Hode, a BB to me. Welcome to all of my thinkers, truth speakers, and truth seekers. Welcome to another Truth to Power Talk with your sister, Dr. Maat. Thank you for joining another powerful discussion. And tonight I have with me another powerful guest, but she is no stranger to the community, Queen Mother, Sister Shahrazad Ali. How are you doing tonight, Queen Mother?
I'm doing fine. Praise be to Allah.
Thank you so much, Queen, for coming on the platform. You know, I know I called you sort of at the last minute, and I said, Queen Mother, can you come on, please? You said, well, next Saturday, maybe, Mother, please. She said, I'll be there Saturday. And you came right on, and I just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me and my listeners tonight. Family, take a moment out to thumb up this video. We have the Queen Mother in the building, family. Take a moment out, thumb up this video. You know how the YouTube algorithm works. The more likes we get, the more it shows up in the feed. Okay, share the video. Let's get the word out. The Queen Mother is here tonight. All right. And also, family, take a moment out to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribing, if you're on Facebook, head on over to YouTube, type in Dr. Maat, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so that as soon as I go live, anytime I go live, which is only once or twice a week, you will be notified. Also, family, I have interviewed a number of professionals, professors, elders on my platform. So I've created a Truth to Talk playlist. And when you click on that, you'll see Dr. Malefe Asante, Dr. Wade Nobles, Dr. Sandy Darity, Dr. Julianne Marvel, Professor James Smalls, Dr. Kamene. So just go ahead and check out those Truth to Power Talks in the archive. Also, family, join me here each and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Read Book Club. So, Queen Mother, I have to give you the proper introduction. Hold on. This is what I've been saying all week, Queen Mother, since we talked. Hold on.
The champ is here. Ladies and gentlemen, the heavyweight champion of the world has arrived. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
I've been saying I was going to do that, Queen Mother, since I said the champ is here, because, you know, I've been on YouTube, you know, lecturing for a number of years, but I've been on YouTube for about a year and a half, and I'm always battling, Queen Mother, like battling. I'm talking with the brothers and trying to get the brothers to understand the sisters. Then I'm over here with the sisters and trying to get the sisters to understand the brothers. And so I'm kind of like torn. And so, you know, as I've been following you for quite some time, and that's what you've been doing literally for 35 years. You spent 35 years of your life, you know, trying to repair, trying to heal the Black nation. And primarily you spent a lot of time trying to heal the relationship between the Black man and the Black woman. And we have to do that if we want to build a nation, right? So, Queen Mother, back in the 90s, you wrote a book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. That was I believe you published that in 1994. Queen Mother, why? It wasn't 94?
March of 1990.
Oh, March of 1990, you published the book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Queen Mother, why? Why did you decide to publish that book on that particular topic?
Well, actually, I had written my first book, which was How Not to Eat Pork or Life Without the Pig.
I saw that.
And I was going around to different groups and the colleges and different places. And I was so enthusiastic and young. So I was taking the microscope and I was showing the people what the porkworm looked like in your brain and your legs and how heat couldn't kill it. Like they was telling us, if you cook it well enough, you can kill. So I was going through a lot of things with that. And I noticed at that time that a lot of the brothers were saying, hey, I'm going to get off that pig. I ain't eating that hog. I'm going to eat different and so forth. But it was the sisters that I felt I was getting the most resistance from. And they were saying, I'm not cooking nothing. He gonna eat what I've been cooking. We've been eating it. My grandma 99, she been eating it all her life. They were giving me all of that same spiel. And I noticed the thing that occurred to me was that if we are withholding the proper food from the Black man, and food is what sustains life, then what else are we withholding from him that's killing him and me? Killing all of us. You know, since, you know, we are the foundation of the nation, being the mothers. And so that led me to start that research, which actually was in 1984, all the way up, you know, to, I had been collecting a lot of things and I didn't know what I was collecting it for. So, you know, when Allah blessed me with that idea, I say, well, then what I need to write is the Black man's guide to understanding the Black woman. And the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history. So you were trying to, and I share your same sentiments that that I noticed that, you know, I can build with my brothers and I can build with my sisters too, but I get a lot of resistance. So what you experience during that day, it's still happening. It's still happening, Queen Mother. And so you wrote that book about male-female relationships. And we understand that if we want to build a strong Black nation, well, we have to build strong, healthy families, because a network of families form a community, and a network of communities forms a nation, right? And so we can't build a strong Black nation unless the Black man and the Black man and Black woman are on the same accord. So let me ask you this, Queen Mother. Can you speak to the audience? Can you speak to me about male-female relationships, roles that we should play? So what is the role that the Black men in our community should play? And what is the role Black women in our community? What role should we play? Could you discuss the roles?
Well, we all share the same ancestral slave history, but a lot of the physical punishment was put on our men to punish him, to destroy his testicles so he couldn't reproduce himself. That's what it was an attempt to do. It failed, of course. And a lot of that punishment was put on them. But the work of the mind was put on us. Okay?
Say that one more time, Queen Mother. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You
the
said
work,
the work
on the mind of Black people was done on the woman. It was done on us.
Please continue.
And that work consisted of separating us from our man. It wasn't just to force us to work or to nurse their babies so that they could grow up and be strong, because the white woman was too frail and weak to produce the kind of nutrients in her milk that a child needs to survive. And so they made us do that. They made us prepare and cook the food. We had to do the cleaning. And the thing about it is that we were in the house with them. See, a lot of us who were the role models and who were the strong women and who were physically strong also, or even stubborn, we were put in the house. And so they had a greater chance to work on our brain than to just work on the physical abuse of our bodies. And a lot of that sentiment, a lot of their ideas, a lot of their disdain in front of us for our Black men and hatred for our children and a lot of things, genetically, we have been reproducing that now for like 17, 18, 19 generations.
That's a fact.
And we keep thinking that it came from someplace else. And we don't understand that we have choices, which is what I want to talk about mostly tonight. We have choices. We think we can only have choice of freedom of speech, which isn't true either. And we think that we have choice of the clothes we're going to wear, or maybe where we're going to live, where we're going to work, what kind of education we're going to get, and a lot of things. But we have choices also about what kind of relationship we want to have. We don't have to follow the pattern that was taught to us. We were always told that we were stronger than our men.
Yes.
And so they did things for us to make it appear as if we were stronger. But actually, we just live in a society where the entire society is built on supporting us as Black women to make us look down on the Black man and to make him feel inadequate.
Come on.
To take care of us.
Come on.
See? And so a lot of what has been going on, we have been practicing without knowledge of what we were doing because we thought we believed the lie and the rumor. We have the only community where the woman is considered stronger and greater and smarter than the man.
Come on.
Okay. And that's very sad for us because we have the best man on the earth. Everybody wants our man but us. Okay. And it's getting so he wants everybody but us. So, you know, we're getting to be up against some really strong and terrible times. Not getting along is a luxury. I say that all the time because we have time to fall out and make up, get mad for a week, don't talk to you for a day, 2 days. And we practice all kind of nonsense of separation when we really should be trying to separate ourselves from the ideas of the enemy who set us against each other to begin with. We didn't ordinarily just not get along. We used to get along. But for the past, especially the past 60 years, we're not getting along at all. We don't have any patience with each other. And the fault of that is the elder Black man and Black woman. Now, when I say the elders, it's their fault. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to change their name because they'll say, my mother named me that. Or a lot of people want to go vote because they'll say, my father died so we could vote. Well, they didn't know any better. It's not an insult against them to change. They didn't know any better.
Come on. Queen
They were
Mother.
blind, deaf, and dumb, mentally dead to the knowledge of self, God, or the devil. They didn't have any idea what the truth was. They were doing what they had to do to survive. They were a people of their time. But we of this time. And since we can now look at some of the failures of those old slavery time ideas, then we should be trying to change instead of separating from each other based upon the confusion that they put in us. They made us demand things from our man that they systematically keep him from getting. So he can't give it to us. And so we married to the government. They take care of us like our man should. They give us food, clothes, shelter, health care, child care, education, an apartment, whatever it is we need, they step in as our man. And they only do that, as I said, for the two reasons: to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him, to destroy his little ego that he got left, and to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it. Well, yeah, he can't make it because he can't get an apartment if he don't have the children. He can't get food stamps. He can't get transportation. He can't get a lot of those things unless he has the children. And then we charge him with not getting along and not supporting the children. Well, a man's relationship with his children is usually predicated on his relationship with their mother. If he has no relationship with the mother, it's very rare that he's going to have a relationship with the children. The children only know about their father what we tell them.
So, Queen Mother, let me ask you this, because it's 2 powerful points that you made, that you actually made several powerful points, but it's two things I want to touch on. So there's a company, of course, is white owned and operated company called Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs committed to giving Black women-led organizations $10 billion. And so the sisters are going around in the community saying Goldman Sachs are giving Black women organizations, Black-led organizations, and this is on their website, giving Black women-led organizations $10 billion. Queen Mother, I ask you, do you think their intention is to help the Black community?
Oh, no. It's to control the status of in the Black community of the Black woman being the one who is looked upon as the idea of success. You know, like right now, we get more education than our men. We get a lot of things more because they reach out to us more to entice us and bring us in, and they pay for more things from us, okay? But the purpose of education is to civilize the people. It's not to just become the bed wench of white men. It is not just to become somebody go around praising white people for saying that they doing something for black people. And it's not because they love us. Right now, the enemy is sending that Real Housewives series to Dubai. Because the way to get into any place, in any country, in any city, society, is that you have to contaminate the woman, not the man. You got to contaminate the female, because then she going to pass that filth on to the children. And then they're going to take it to their children until somebody comes in with a new idea and the people take on the new idea.
That's a fact.
And that's not to say, you know, we look at our men and the condition they're in. We raised them. Okay. And then when I say it's the fault of the elders, because us not getting along has been the root of all of the problems that we see in our children. Because had we been able to get along, work it out, you know, now we get along in bed, we know that. But if we could have got along standing up, talking to each other and functioning, then our children wouldn't be in the condition they're in today. It ain't about child support. It ain't about daddy got another woman. It ain't none of those things. It's about that we didn't have enough unity and respect for our children and their future to try to figure out who to go to bed with, so that we wouldn't go to bed with somebody that we hated the next day, and we could stay with them and raise our children. It's been proven. It's been proven in every study that children who do not have a father on a daily basis, some kind of way, weekly basis, they're not going to do well in school. They're going to hate themselves. They're going to fight the mother. They're going to hate their siblings. They're not going to do well in school. And they ultimately will selling drugs or on drugs and go to jail.
Facts. Facts on facts on facts. Queen Mother. And you're right. I mean, I hear a lot of sisters, they run around and, you know, and they feel like we can, you know, we can empower the race all by ourselves. We can do it alone. You hear a lot of black women say, we're the most educated group in America. We own 2.5 million businesses, but they don't tell you that those 2.5 million businesses that the sisters are bragging about typically have only one employee, but that's a whole nother show. But you got a lot of black women who say, I can do this. You know, I can do this by myself. Queen Mother, how important is healing Black female relationships to Black liberation and sovereignty? So can Black women do it all alone? I feel like you already answered this question, but can we do it all by ourselves? Can we as the people obtain liberation and sovereignty without Black men? No,
we can attain a level of what is considered as success in America under the American standards and rules and guidelines. We can accumulate all of those things. But any woman who has loved a Black man, any woman who has been held by a Black man with his arms around you, there's no comparison to a credit card and a successful college degree to that. You can't replace that. You can't buy that. It ain't on your credit report. And it don't matter how much success you have, it's not as good. And any woman that says it is lying, because she has failed to understand what she needed to do about herself. And that's not saying, as I said, that the brothers are not in trouble in a lot of ways, but we put them in trouble. That's my point. The mother, we the first one to touch them. All we say is, my baby, my child, my daughter, my son. We say that even to the father. And we ain't made no baby by ourselves. We ain't that good.
So Queen Mother, let me ask you this. And I'm thinking about right now when I hear you, I'm thinking about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Dr. Welsing said that Black women are the mothers and thus the first teachers of Black females and Black males alike. With increased consciousness of their importance as first teachers, Black women can determine whether future generations of Black children will be warriors or if we will continue to be slaves living in a highly refined state of psychological oppression. So, Queen Mother, is this why you utilize your time to speak to Black women and men, but to speak to the sisters and to try to correct our current behavior, because you understand the value and the power of Black women? Is that true, Queen Mother?
Absolutely. We have so much power. We have more power in our community than we have anywhere. we have more power over our children than we have anywhere. Children are not born just for us to dress them up and buy them expensive toys and telephones and iPads and computers. That's not the purpose of having a child, just to give them everything. The purpose is to teach and train them to be able to move into a civilized role in society and represent the standards that we need so that those of us who have daughters and granddaughters can find a man. Because right now, the men act so much, they say they not gay and they not, but they have so many feminine attributes in talking and in their behavior and ideas and petty little issues. They have a lot of those things because women put them in it. They grew up around women. They were turned against the father. That's the man they got to grow up and be. And they were taught bad things about him. Okay, most of us only know anything about our father, whatever our mother told us, and she's still mad at him because they couldn't get along. See, we carry that grudge 20, 30, 40, 50 years, sister. We be mad at a man about something he did back in 1970. Okay, 1980. We still mad about that. And the children grow up. The girls don't know how to get along with a man. The boys they got the female emotional mechanism. They can argue better than women, some of them. Yes, and some of them are just so ignorant, and ignorant don't mean dumb. Ignorant means to ignore the truth. And many of them have decided to ignore the truth because of laziness, because you have to study, you have to work, you have to learn how to be whoever it is you decide you want to be. See, the black man is the best at anything he tries. If it's selling drugs, he's the best drug dealer they've ever seen in the streets. If it's killing people, he can kill more people than anybody ever have in more creative ways. No matter if it's dressing, he can dress finer than everybody. No matter what it is, he's the best. If it's jumping, if it's running, if it's doing sports, no matter what it is, he is the best. And nobody can deny that.
Facts on facts on facts, Queen Mother. Let me ask you about this. Let's move into feminism. And I know you've spoken a lot about this. Do you think that, Black women adopting feminism will help or harm Black male-female relations and thus the Black family?
Well, sister, not only do we not have a national agreed upon definition of respect, we certainly don't have one of what feminism is. The white woman has never been our sister in anything, feminism or anything else. She's still mad because her man wanted us over them. The only reason they wanted a white woman was to produce the white race, because they can only produce themselves if they mate with themselves. See, if they mate with us, you can produce the entire spectrum of every color. All right. So she mad about that. And she's jealous of us because we are more beautiful. We have a buttock and a lot of other issues that she's still mad about. Okay. So she's never been our sister. We've never really been together in anything. During the civil rights or anything, the white woman didn't come out and support us. She didn't come out and help us defend and protect our children. She didn't do any of that. She's not our friend. People need to always talking about, well, I can work with the white woman, but it's the white man. She's his mother.
Come on, Queen Mother. Come on.
I don't know where they get that from. She teaches. Just like we have failed to teach our children, she has been successful in teaching hers how to rule our children, how to rule us, and what their place is in the world. We're not telling our children that. We're telling them, if you act right, you can go get a good job. We may as well say with the slave master. Now, every Black person is not going to go in business. I'm not saying that. But there are many jobs, many ideas, many things that we could collaborate on and support each other on. White people don't worry about racism. They children not worried about racism because they don't experience that like our man does. Every day he leaves the house, we don't know if he's coming back. That's every son, every nephew, every father, every brother. He don't have to do nothing. Ain't no being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Every place is the wrong place for the Black man in America.
And so you made a good point, Queen Mother. They don't, like you said, they don't, to align ourselves. We're literally Black women are aligning themselves with white women who are
Yeah.
giving birth to white men who are oppressing their sons.
Right.
It's Queen Mother. It's insane.
Right.
It's insane. And they come up with all sorts of things to justify it. And then now they say, oh, well, it's not feminism. It's Black feminism that I'm practicing. And they're trying to spin it, Queen Mother.
Hey, we was here 450 years before we heard the word feminism. So we're not getting ready to jump on some new idea that they came up with, because they ain't never came up with an idea that was good that they shared with us. Never. They've never said, oh, I got some good gold over here. Let's give it to the Blacks. Oh, here's the good food over here in the garden. Give it to the Blacks. No, they said, give them the pork, give them the filth, give them the lima beans, the black-eyed peas, destroy them, make them have high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and everything else that we got came from what they fed us before we learned how to feed ourselves. And now that we have learned how to feed ourselves, we still, many of us, because we have not been taught, would rather eat the food that they offer, which is killing us every day.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And so let me ask you this. I don't even know if you're aware of this, Queen Mother, but there are a collection of social media channels called like the Women's Sphere and the Manosphere, right? Where they talk about different issues and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, in the woman's sphere, they're promoting, a number of things. One idea, there's 3 ideas that I wanted to ask you about. One idea is this: they are now calling Black men the oppressors of the Black community. What are your thoughts on them spreading that idea, Queen Mother?
Well, I think it was Frantz Fanon who said that when a people can't fight the oppressor, then they turn on the oppressed. Okay, so that's ridiculous that he would be the enemy. We don't think he's the enemy in the bed. He's the friend then. He's the best friend. Okay. And as Black women, since we have not been taught how to select a man, we think good sex is love.
Yes.
Really. And then when that subsides, which it will, whether it's months or weeks, whatever it is, and then we find out we don't like this person. In fact, we hate this person. Why did I get with him? And we'll say to ourselves, I don't know why I got with him, because I hate him. Well, that's because we didn't have the knowledge of what to quantify, what to decide are good attributes in a man to select him. And looking at him not just as a good bedmate, but as not just as a good husband, but as a father who is going to help me to raise these children and teach them something so that they don't grow up and be ignorant, out of control, and hateful, and lazy, and all of the things that our children are now. That we are embarrassed about them, many of us, because of their condition.
Yeah, and so the sisters, and you're making a really good point that these sisters don't understand how to vet a man. They don't have a clue, and so then you end up like the elders used to say, you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And so a lot of sisters don't know how to vet them, and then so they get with the man and the male, and they say, oh, he's dumb, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. Well, if he's dumb and he's retarded and he's all of these things, then what were you when you laid down with this person and you procreated with him?
I'll tell you exactly what we are. We are desperate. We are desperate for affection. They have had studies, and this, Dr. Maat, where if a baby is not held and touched, it's not enough to lay it in the bed and give it a bottle. If that baby is not held and caressed and touched, then they grow up retarded. They have all kind of mental problems. See, that human touch cannot be replaced with a good credit score, with a degree, or a credit card, or any of that nonsense we're talking about. Now, here is our problem. This is the mistake that we made. Now, this is real.
Come on, Queen Mother.
Here it is. Yeah. The mistake we have made is deciding, because of our low self-esteem, that the only thing we had to offer a man was sex. And so we have dressed, talked, behaved, and did everything we could to get his attention through sexual innuendo and sexual attraction. And so now we have trained him, especially over the past, I'm going to say 30 years, to not look for anything in us but sex. And so his idea is that once he do that, they hit it and quit it. That's what they say. That's what they call it.
That's what they do, Queen Mother.
And then we're standing around saying he didn't treat me right. Plus, many of us act like we just so wild and sexual in the bed and everything until we get the man. And then after that, we don't want him to touch us, are we? Leave me alone. All right. It's like that. So we do them wrong. We trick them. It's really wrong how we trick them. Okay. And so they think that they are playing the role that we have designed for them. And they are. So if we want to pull him back into order, then we're going to have to do things like stop out here twerking, putting our naked. Did you ever think you'd see grown Black women out shaking their naked behind in the public online?
Never.
I mean,
it's embarrassing.
Our little girls.
It's embarrassing.
Our little girls are watching this. They already think they're not good enough. Okay? However much money that Goldman Sachs is going to give Black women, they're going to spend half of it on fake hair. All right? So we don't have our identity straight ourselves. We know, just give the money to the hair industry, give it to the Asians and be done with it, because that's what we're going to do with it. We want fake eyelashes.
Come on.
We want fake hair. We want fake breasts. And now we even want fake buttocks. And we used to be known for having big butts. Now we want to put a fake one in there and walk around shaking that. It is awful. It's embarrassing. And our little daughters are being raised to think that they are not good enough unless they put somebody else's hair on their head, some plastic on their fingernails, and some silicone gel in their breasts and buttocks. This is what we're teaching them. And we're taking our little 4 and 5-year-olds and putting fake braids in their hair and making them sit for hours to have that fake hair put into their hair, destroying their self-esteem. And in the meantime, our boys are sitting in that beauty shop too, listening to all the ignorance we talk about Black men and about them. See, this thing is messed up. We don't have the right idea. And people are telling me, sister, she old school. No, I'm not old school. I'm from the school where it worked at. That's the school I'm from. Okay? That's my school.
Queen Mother said, I'm not from the old school. What she said, I'm from the school where it worked.
Yeah, that's my school.
Facts on facts. Queen Mother, another idea that they are promoting is they're saying that Black women should divest in Black men and start dating other groups of men. You start to hear sisters say, I don't even want to call them sisters. You start to hear these chicks say, oh, we need to divest. These are the divestors. And they're going to go get a white zaddy. That's what they're calling him. They're getting a white zaddy, Queen Mother.
It's going on a lot of places. It's going on among the sisters who don't know what the word divest means. So it is a trend. This is what's happening. And that's also by their design to pull us away from our own man, because the white man can't compete with the Black man on nothing. Okay. He's afraid of his penis. That's why he kept trying to cut it off in his testicles. He's outgunned on every level. And so, of course, he wants his woman, because that's another way to insult him and to degrade him and to abuse his generations of future children. Okay? They get these white men, they bring them around their house. They don't know how they treating their daughters or their little sons and so forth. Okay? And how can anybody, and I say this for the Black man and the Black woman, how you going to lay down in the bed with a picture of who they have showed you they're your open enemy? Somebody that even looked like somebody that has hated my son, I don't want to be around them. Somebody who looked like they killed my grandfather and my great-grandfather, I don't want to lay up in the bed with them. I don't want their filthy seed inside of me. And no Black man with any regard for his own Black seed should want to lay up with the filthy germ, the white woman who has been the mother of the man that has destroyed him.
Queen Mother, look, I said the same thing. When I first started hearing that these sisters were promoting divesting, I said, how can you lay down? I mean, understanding the history of these people, how could you open your womb? How do you do that? How do you freely open your womb to the man that our ancestors fought? They fought him. The sisters fought him. Right. And you're freely opening your womb, your universe to this beast. How do you do it? How do you do it? And then procreate with him. And then procreate with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm telling you, oh my goodness. I'm with you. I don't understand it. I don't see it.
I don't get
I
that.
don't get it. I don't
Well,
get it.
like I said now, remember now, this the other thing I say. We are desperate for affection. It has run us into a lot of different ways. And I say all the time, when these men see these sisters with their clothes off, shaking their naked behind and everything, that don't mean she bold. That means she's scared to death. And the only way she thinks she can attract a man is to show her body. Stand on the slave block, the same thing we did, as I said, 18 generations ago. We still carry that shame. And our men are trying to normalize their captivity by trying to say they don't want us either. And so the plan has worked to get us not to want each other, not to like each other. Now, and let me mention something about Francis. Francis didn't make up that statement about the mother being the first teacher and from the cradle. That was taught by Honorable Elijah Muhammad since 1993.
Oh,
1933, rather.
Go ahead, Queen
Okay.
Mother.
Yeah.
She used it in the ISIS paper. She used it in the ISIS paper. Go ahead.
She did. And I told her that. But I have been around people all over the country constantly who attribute things to Malcolm. They attribute things to Khalid Muhammad. They attribute things to a lot of our good brothers, but they didn't teach that. We just all had the same teacher, but they didn't teach that themselves. A lot of what I say, that's who my teacher was. And so I have that part of the truth. I'm not in no temple with Minister Farrakhan and that nonsense he got going, so I'm not saying that. I am a follower of the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, okay? Since 1967. Hey, girl.
Go ahead, Queen Mother. She said since 19, to make a correction. You said there wasn't Dr. Francis Cress Welsing who was the first. No, but I understand, Queen Mother. She did. Yes. She just quoted it in the ISIS paper. But you're right. Okay. He did say that, and he also said that a nation can rise no higher than its women.
Absolutely,
a nation can rise no higher than its women.
And I got that on my wall right here in my house. I got it up there, and I make sure that my granddaughters see that and recognize it, because we have, as I said, we have power. It's just misused.
Yes.
We have great power.
Yes.
And our men say they tired of us. So they gonna quit us. Well, everybody that worked for the white man tired of him too, but you don't just quit your job. You figure out how to get along to keep going. So we have to figure out how to forgive each other of our human frailties. We have to figure out that while they were teaching us not to want the man, they were teaching the man not to want us. We have to recognize that we share an ancestral slave history that should unite us. It should bring us together. We should be able to pray together, to cry together, and to talk about what this evil monster has done to our great and wonderful, powerful Black nation. What he has done to the greatest man on the earth and the most beautiful woman on the earth. We're the ones that made everything they got. They stole everything they got. They steal everything from our man. They steal everything from you and me. They didn't make up nothing but rape and murder.
Let me see if I had. So, Queen Mother, let me ask you this. This is another idea that that the woman sphere is promoting. They have a hashtag, Queen Mother, going around that says hashtag abort Black boys. These are Black women. They said, so there are three main points. They said Black men are the oppressors of the Black community. Black women should divest in Black men and date other groups of men, explore their options. And they have a hashtag that says hashtag abort Black boys. Queen Mother, what are your thoughts on that?
It's just so terrible. Well, that's how we know we're near the end of days, when those kind of things start coming up. That's a person, a female, who is so terrified of whatever her history has been and what she thinks her future is. And she is so frightened of the power of our men. Even if they're sitting on the curb, they're still better than any other one out there. Now, that's not saying we don't have some germs in our nationality. We know that there are some. But I meet good, beautiful brothers all the time, and the sisters don't want them because things like, he too short, he too tall, he too fat, he too skinny, his head too big, his head too little. I mean, you name it. We have a reason to disqualify them because we have been trained to reject them no matter how they come. We don't let them talk. Just because they do things different from us don't make it wrong, but we think it does. We want to, and then we're the very ones that sit around saying, I just want a man to accept me as I am. There ain't no such about it, accept nobody as they are. As soon as we get a man, first thing we do is start trying to change him. That's just what we do. And so for a sister to sit around, and I tell you, that's a dangerous notion. Because as I said, as bad as we think we are, we can't produce no baby. The sperm is the only thing that moves. The ovary, the eggs just lay there. It'll lay there forever if the sperm don't swim up to it. So while we out here trying to create a weak idea of a black man, then we're destroying our own self and our offspring too. So that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and the sad part, Sister Ali, Queen Mother, it's a lot of young females who are following this. I mean, when I look at these platforms, these women, these black women have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and a lot of these subscribers are ignorant, young, ignorant and inexperienced young black women, and they're listening to these women say the black men are the oppressors, they divest, kill them, and
it's like when people used to say, in the women's liberation movement, that feminist nonsense.
Yes.
And I would say, well, that's an argument between the white woman and her white man. She been mad at him because of his past behavior too, okay? And he's really oppressed her in different ways. He repressed her. But we have never been under the direct control of black men. So what do we need to get free from him for? We ought to be trying to get with him, okay? Instead of trying to get away from him. He ain't never been our boss. The white man been our boss and our supplier. He has been our supporter. He's done all of those things for us. And now he's stepping up because he wants to be our bedmate. So we have to be careful with that. Having a whole bunch of these little half-breed children thinking that they got good hair and blue eyes and all this nonsense, and thinking that that's beautiful. That's not beautiful. Didn't nobody want that. That ain't beautiful. We have the most beautiful hair. And it's very difficult to try to teach and train a woman who hates the hair on top of her own head. How you going to get through that? What kind of language can I use to try to get them to understand that? Everybody thinks that they already tried somebody. Our men and our women think we tried each other. I ain't trying no more. They ain't right. All they think about is this. All they want money. All they want their hair done. All they want their nails done. And all of this. Well, then we have to have some men who can try to teach and train that woman about why she has to be her own person, and what in our glorious history, we got 5,000 years ago in Kemet or something. None of that matters if we can't get up out of our low self-esteem, and to stop thinking that the man that God designed for us is the only one that's unqualified and disqualified to have us. I hear the women say all the time, if I can find somebody qualified, if I can find somebody meet my standards. What standard? We don't have no standards. We're doing what they told us to do. We ain't got no standards. Yeah, what? How long our weave gonna be? Is that the standard? I don't understand. I'm really not getting a lot of it at this time.
Yes, ma'am. Facts on facts. Oh my gosh. I feel like, and now I see why. And shout out to the 170,000 people who are in the building. I see why. I'm telling you, all day long, people have been sending me messages like, Dr. Maat, you got the Queen Mother coming on. I'm waiting for this build. When I hear her, I see you carrying the torch. And now I'm listening to you. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm listening to myself. And so that's why I'm sitting back, just listening, to your wisdom, Queen Mother. But let me ask you this. And another thing these sisters say is, I'm not submitting to black men. They have no power. They're at the bottom of the dominance hierarchy in America. Why would I want to submit to that? He's a conquered guy. He's a conquered male. Why would I want to submit to that? So now they're saying we don't need to submit to black men. And so Queen Mother,
I keep going back. I keep going back. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just keep going back to the fact that he got power in the bedroom, We'll turn every kind of back over flip, stand on our head, spin around, and jump up on the roof. Anything he wants us to do in there, we do. He got power there. We'll do anything he tell us to do. Walk on tacks, take your shoes off. All right, walk out in the snow. Do anything. We'll do anything he tell us to do if it's in that sexual connotation, if it's in the confines of that. But once he stand up, then we don't want to hear nothing out of him. He has served his purpose. And that's the real truth in this. And any woman that says not is lying to herself, because that's the issue. Either we counting on them financially to support us, or we staying with them just because we want to be with them in bed. That's what we do.
And so this idea of submission, Queen Mother, what are your thoughts on that in a male-female?
Submission just means to agree. We think because of our slave history that it means somebody gonna press us down on the ground or drag us by our hair. And I know I don't seem like that kind of woman. I wouldn't teach that. I wouldn't teach that. I got daughters and sons. I wouldn't teach that. I'm talking about how to get along. If we change our attitude, everything we want from him costs money. Money usually he ain't got. Everything they want from us is free. A smile, agreement, a plate of food on the table, bake a cake. We teaching our children how to put in a lace front, but they don't know how to fix a meal. That's us women supposed to teach that. Okay? Now the enemy has tried to blur the lines of gender identity and role responsibility. Okay? He wants to make it everybody can do everything. That's not the truth. Don't go for that. We've never had a civilization, none recorded. You up there at the university, you know that. Ain't never been no civilization where that system worked. Never. Because you can't even do it with elephants. The enemy went into the jungle. Now this was, I know, 30 years ago, and took some elephants and pulled out all of the male elephants. Okay? Look this up. Pulled out all the male elephants and left the children, the baby elephants, there with the mothers. The baby elephants started fighting their mothers, raping their grandmothers, trying to kill their mothers, and running away and wouldn't obey. Elephants! Now, if you take the father elephant out of a community and the baby elephants go savage, what do you think it is when you take the black man father out of our community and our children have gone savage and wild too? And so have we. Because a woman who is desperate to have a man or do anything, you can't even imagine the things we'll do when we get desperate for a man. And then when we get a man, we don't want to get along with him if we can't have our way. It's all just designed to keep us separated and fighting. And so now I know at least for the past 40 years, we've been fighting over the same issue. As I said, I wrote my books before most of y'all was born. Okay? We wasn't getting along then, and it has deteriorated. So we really ain't getting along now, and we still have children that we're trying to bring up being the mother and the father. In fact, the sisters will say, I'm his mother and his father, and I'll say, no, you're not. No, you're not. We can't raise no boy. We can't even raise a girl. Look at our girls, and we're girls. We don't know what to teach them.
Hold on, Queen Mother.
We don't know what to teach no boy. We know how to dress him up and treat him like he's our little man. And then when he grows up and becomes his own man, then we ready to kick him out and get rid of him because then he wants to be able to execute his own power. See, we don't want no man we can't control. See? So because we were taught that our man was incompetent and didn't have the ability. What are we talking about? Financial ability or brain ability? He got the brain ability. They don't keep our man out because he's the worst. They keep him out because he's the best. The very best, absolute best they have ever produced.
So Queen Mother, let me fit in 2 more questions. I know I only have you for like 5 or 10 more minutes. My last 2 questions. So this is the first one. What are your thoughts about polygamy? I know that's been a huge topic. The brothers are talking about polygamy, and you got sisters saying, I'm not pregnant. What are your thoughts on polygamy?
Well, most of us already practicing polygamy. We just don't know it. Well, first of all, here's the thing. I see those things online too at different places, Facebook and Instagram about I'm looking for a poly relationship. And our people, as I said, I have to take it back to sex because it is such a great motivator in our communities. Our people think that polygamy is some kind of opportunity to have orgies every night or something. Okay. They think you get a bunch of people somewhere and every day that's all you deal with. It ain't like that. I guarantee you. Okay. You might wish it was, but that's not it. It's all them different slavery time personalities, attitudes, envies, and jealousies, and selfishness, and everything you can think of. We got in us. And so by the time, if a man tries to have 2 women or 3 wives or whatever, by the time he finishes doing an exorcism on all of us, he's old and tired. We kill a man with the nonsense we practice. We make our man live a short time because we put so much pressure and nonsense on him. We make him think he ain't nothing. I hear a sister told me, I don't like that dude because he think he's something. I said, well, why can't he think he's something? I want to get to the root of that. Why can't a man that think he fine? Why? Why he can't think that? Because we don't want him to have that? Because we want to withhold anything that'll make him feel better about himself and in turn might make him feel better about me and my children? What we're practicing is never going to be successful for us. Oh, it may get us a house and a car, but it's not going to get us the love of a man. I don't mean the sex of a man. I ain't talking about no one night stand and weekend stand and every time we see each other stand. I ain't talking about that nonsense. I mean a man who is not there around the clock, because none of us, let me say this before I go, none of us don't want to be bothered with no man around the clock. We got too much to do. Okay? You just can't do it. I don't care what kind of Wonder Woman you think you are. You ain't never gonna be every woman to every man. That ain't gonna happen. All right.
So you agree with the lifestyle. You support the lifestyle. You're saying,
Well, I think that it is an option that we should have explored because polygamy is not for men to have sex. Polygamy is so that the women and children will be cared for. All the women and children. See? All right, if you want to have a husband a couple of times a week, that's all a woman like me got time for. I ain't got time for no man every day. What I'm going to do, cook? What I'm going to do that every day? I don't have time for that anymore, okay? But I got to have a man. So we need to deal with some realities about what the purpose is. We keep going by the template that white people made up that does not fit for us and our special situation of being ancestral slaves, okay? It don't fit for us. We have to have special instructions. Everything, every topic they come up with, every issue they have, we make it our issue. Every problem they dealing with, whatever it is, we make it ours. We're not on the same level. That doesn't mean we're lower. It just means they robbed us differently. And when you rob a people of their brain and their way of thinking, then they have to have special instructions. They have to have a special teacher. What they are offering is not going to work. Their counseling is not going to solve our problems. Okay? All of us got PTSD. We need to accept that. All of us got post-traumatic stress syndrome. We got different levels. We're able to be functional on different levels, but all of us got the same thing. That commonality ought to bring us together, at least 2 at a time, a man and a woman. I'm not talking about starting no organization, join no group. Just find somebody that you can talk with and be real with. Now, my books, The Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman and The Black Woman's Guide to Understand the Black Man, all my books are on Amazon and eBay, so y'all need to go on there and get them and read them together.
Yes.
And don't try to read them all in one night, because then you're going to be mad with me. Okay?
So my last question is this, Queen Mother. Like, what do you think it will take to make, Black people whole, to make Black men whole, to make Black women whole, to make the Black family, the Black community, the Black nation whole? What do you think, if there's some solutions that you could, just share with us? What do we need to do?
I'm going to probably give you this one. Divine intervention. All right? Because we are proud of the fact that we are not monolithic. We brag all the time. We're not all the same because we want the slave master to think we're different. Okay? So that they will accept us in and not think we like the rest of the Negroes out there that we may not like or who don't know how to act like the right slave. Okay? So I think divine intervention is going to help us. And I think poverty, famine, hunger, I think those things are going to help us, because if times get really hard in this country, which is leaning toward, every woman with children gonna need a man to help protect her and help protect and feed her children and protect her food. Okay, you're gonna be surprised how well we gonna get along then. Ain't nobody gonna even mention the word polygamy. We just gonna all get along. Okay.
So you said divine intervention. You said you said extreme poverty. We're not going to have any choice but to all come together and say, look, we got to eat. We got to protect our.
It's called forced unity, and we are going to have forced unity. Okay, and the men are going to have. Men should be responsible for the widows and the orphans, and the women anyway, but they have not been allowed to do what they by nature would do, what mammals do. They have been repressed from that. And so to just now somebody snap their fingers and say, oh, here, come on in, I got a good job for you. You can make $50 an hour. They may not be able to do that yet. It took us almost 500 years to get in this condition. And sad to say, it might take us 500 to get out. We got to look at the math of that, because we have heard everything. We have talked ourselves to death on these issues. And we still are wrestling with pretty much the same things that, as I said, we were dealing with 30 years ago. And now I'm looking up 35 years later and it's worse.
It is
so
worse.
A person like myself, I'm not trying to help God, because God don't need no help. But I am trying to help our people. Because as I said, I have daughters, granddaughters. I'm going to have great-granddaughters, inshallah. I'm going to have a whole lot of things coming after me. And I want them to have a good man. And the enemy don't know how to make a good man. He just know how to destroy our man. And we need to recognize that. That ain't no pity party. That's an actual fact.
Well, Queen Mother, do you have any closing words for the listening audience? Any closing words, Queen Mother, for the listening audience?
Well, I just want to tell Black people that I'm on your side. I want the best for us, because I know that you are the absolute best, the wisest, and the most beautiful. And that's all I could ever hope to have. And I know that marriage works. I had 2 good husbands. Most women don't never get one. I had 2, and they both died, sister, you know. So, but I know that that's possible. Everything that I talk about is possible. I didn't make all of this up. I had to have teachers who were able to teach me. And I have lived long enough that I'm not telling you what I read. I'm telling you what I saw. I was there. See, all of the people that's out here now, I was there then. And so I have some experience and some knowledge about how to get along, about how to raise your children, and how to have a different life. As I said, the choice is we don't recognize that we can choose the way that we want to live. Just like they taught us to choose the clothes we want to wear, so we'll buy them from them. Okay? We buy all of this brand name stuff. We choose that. Well, we can choose the kind of relationship we want to have. We can choose the kind of God we want to serve. We can choose the kind of name we want to have. We can try to reclaim ourselves other than wearing dreads and putting on garb once a year at the African festival. Okay? We got to do more than that.
Right.
Okay?
Facts, Queen
So
Mother.
listen. I have loved this. I'm so glad you were so persistent. You worked with me for months until I said, okay, I'll be on your show.
Hey, look, I said, look, I need to, and then I shout out to Brother George. I do appreciate him connected us together, because I emailed you and you said, oh, well, I have a lot of things going on. And then I said, well, I'll try you back in a couple of months. I emailed you again and you said, oh, I got a lot. And then Brother George, he connected us. And then when I talked to you on the telephone, it was just very familiar, you know, when we talked. It was just, it's like I've known you for 20 years.
You do know me. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm your sister. You do know me.
That's right. That's right. So let me drop a bomb for Queen Mother Ali.
Fire, 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 fire.
All right, so Queen Mother, I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much for coming on the platform and being with us. You know, we love it's a treat when you come out, because I was telling folks, you know, you're very exclusive. You just don't go around and give interviews everywhere.
No,
you're very exclusive.
But I hope everybody heard something that they can use. Any part of anything I have taught tonight that you take will improve your life. Any part of it. In any section of your life. And once you see that improvement, then maybe you'll be able to hear some other things. Because in order to have a better people, we have got to have a better mother.
Ashe. In order to have a better people, we have to have a better mother.
Yes.
Woo! I put up a post, Queen Mother, that said that the Black race will return to greatness when the Black woman returns to her divine self. And that post went viral, Queen Mother. So thank you so much for your wisdom, Queen Mother. Yes, family, thank you so much for tuning in. We had 195,000 people in the building. Thank you so much, family, for joining us. I will see you back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family. If you don't tune in tomorrow, then have a Black-tastic week. Peace and Black power.
Let's combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classics. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maat.MSU.